Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this video. For those that are waiting for this on Monday, I know it's getting quite late. I just got home not too long ago, so we're going to be recording this video now. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to keep consistent with this every Monday. You know what to do. You know what to do to actually find a weekly overview. You know exactly where to find it. So here we are for this week. Going to be talking about this week again. It's going to be quite a quick one because not much has happened since we did a video last week in regards to what we actually want to see. So when we're looking at gold, again, we got our two main points of interest that I was looking at for the last 2 weeks and what might potentially happen. Okay, so this is the preferred move that I'd like to see for now, just price dropping into this H4 POI for gold. So when we're looking at this again, for the last 2 weeks or so, we've been floating around in around these areas and we still haven't made a full retracement back to this H4. So last week we was talking about price dropping into this H4. As you can see, price has just been stuck within this region from, let's say, a range of 374 to 325. Okay, so that's the range we've been in basically for the last 2 weeks or so. So for this week, can I potentially see price dropping into here? Yes. That's what we've been looking at for the last 2 weeks, and it just makes a lot of sense. So when we're looking at our retracement, again, we've done 60%, and it's been like that for the last 2 weeks or so. And we're just waiting for this full 89% to be met. So I do think that will potentially happen this week. Market structures on our side, the pullbacks on our side, and then yeah, like I said, what I like to see is price dropping into here. Okay, so if anything, it'll be more like this way now. So I'd like to see price dropping into here, and then maybe we might target that H1 and move further beyond, or we might come to break past our sell side liquidity. So for now, what I'll be looking at for price to do is let's just flip this arrow around. Let's just see if price can actually drop into this H4 first, and then see if we can actually see what actually happens from here. If we're going to actually break past hitting sell side liquidity, which is all these lows that we've been talking about for a long time, or are we actually going to bounce off here, hitting our H1 and potentially further beyond? So right now, this week, that's what I'm targeting, just that H4, seeing what we can actually find. So we'll go into smaller time frames. Again, just go into the 2 hours, just half it. Okay, 1 hour, we can start seeing price action a little bit clearer, seeing exactly what's happening in and around these areas. Okay, so opening this week, we've been a little bit stagnant. Price hasn't shifted too much. We've been stuck within the Asia range, which is quite weird. I've not seen that happen for a long time for 2 consecutive days, not let alone one. Okay, so this day opened up on Friday, was kind of stuck in that range. Today, open up Asia session, didn't break out, nothing happened. So I'm quite curious to see exactly how that might play out. Okay, in Asia, we did actually take out the low of Friday's price action, including this date here. So the Tuesday price action also from the previous week. So when I'm looking at that, I'm just thinking, cool, we've already taken out this low. We've broken above here. Can we potentially see Asia price play off this low? It's not the kind of trade I would like to take, but I'll be curious to see exactly how that actually plays out head into tomorrow's London session. But like I said, overall, I'm just seeing if price can actually head down into this H4. That's what I'd love to see to give us a better idea of what's going to be happening longer term. So we can see on the 1 hour what we like to see. We're seeing the shape of how this is looking. We already broke structure here, so we already knew this pullback was imminent. And then now I'm just curious to see exactly how this plays out when and if we do drop down into this H4 and further down if we actually go into the sell side liquidity. So seeing that kind of price action right now, I do have slight confidence of this coming down into here firstly. So currently we are currently 350 pips away from that. So I do think that is more likely to happen. I prefer that to happen and then seeing what we can actually do from this region. So like I said, price has been very stagnant for the well, since here, what date is this? Let's just say since last week, since the start of last week into this week, we're just stagnant within this range. And I'm just waiting to see what might happen when we actually break down into here. So no specific trades that I'll be thinking, yeah, let's take it right now and let's look at the structure or whatever else. But I do think this is one that will drop into, let's say, the 3295 region and potentially lower. So let's just see exactly how that plays out in London tomorrow and then see if we can actually catch a trade. Again, if you are following the gold trading community, I'm not even going to open it. If you're following the gold trading community, you already know we're posting trades in there and we're following all these little moves. So even if you don't get the full big move into here, we're catching all these little moves in between this to capture a lot of trades. So definitely check the link out in the bio. And then again, check out my free channel. You can see the results for yourself. Check out my Instagram if you need to. And then you're seeing all these kind of things play out. So not much to kind of mention about gold right now. We're just catching little kind of counter trades within these regions and within this trend until we actually get our full move back down into the 295 region slash 2300. So we'll see exactly what happens. But that's really it for gold. Not much to say about that. Bitcoin we've been talking about for some time, and I said it will potentially start dropping. Okay, we started dropping, and then we went up again, and then now we're dropping again. Okay, so we've done buy side liquidity one more time, and I'm thinking this should be done now. Okay, after cleaning out buy side liquidity from here, that's a more aggressive one, which makes more sense. Okay, so we've got liquidity buy side being taken out. We've got breaker structures in here, and the price is just continuously heading down. So again, similar to gold, I did say I wanted price to drop down into this region through here. So we're seeing that happening kind of right now. Again, just understanding the structure, we're basically looking at this. Okay, we've done buy side liquidity, start breaking structures down here. Can we get a pullback and then go down one more time? Who knows? We broke the structure through here, but didn't quite get a full pullback. So if we're looking at that as a very, very shallow retracement, okay, very, very shallow. Okay, it didn't even hit 50%. Okay, can we get back up into at least, I'll say 62, but I don't want that. I want the 79 at least, and then 89 is obviously the holy grail. So can we get back up into that region? We'll see. Okay, but that would be the perfect ideal situation for this to then drop down into this H1 at least before we see price actually continue down. So currently looking about, let's say, yeah, 2000 pips is crazy. So we're looking at that. That's looking nice. Okay, can we get something like that again? When we're looking in this region, even on the H1, we're seeing very good price action. I spotted it already on the H4, but on the H1, I'm liking this even more. So I'm gonna work this as my POI for H1. Okay, so that'll be very interesting if we come up into this area again. It is a very big if right now, the way price action is playing out. Okay, to the downside. So we'll see exactly what can happen here. But again, it is only Monday, so I won't be surprised if we do see something like that. So let's just keep a watch out for this Tuesday's price action because we already know what to expect throughout the week. And I'll just pop this up and let's just make this bigger. Let's make it 24. Okay, so again, Monday retrace slash rebalance the previous price action. Didn't really do that. Tuesday, can we see our weekly high or low of the week? Okay. I'll be curious to see exactly how this plays out in London tomorrow. Wednesday, midweek reversal. If we get even any of this, I think these will be the targets for Thursday. Okay, pushing into these points of interest. And then Friday, kind of chill and see what's happening. But in and around this region is what I think hopefully we might be in by Thursday and then getting ready to drop. So we'll see. We'll see exactly what might happen with that. But Bitcoin, exactly as we mentioned last week, like I said, not many things have changed drastically. Still roughly in the same positions that we kind of mentioned already. And then we're just seeing if we can actually get the entries to actually take it to where we want it to go. So that's Bitcoin. Um, US 30, okay, done a proper buy side liquidity now. We had this little mini one before. Price broke down, was seeing what might happen in between here. Kind of pulled all the way back up, done another buy side liquidity grab. Okay, and now I'm looking at this. Can this be now the movement to finally take us down into this region here when we're looking at about 43,000? Okay, let's just say 43,120. Okay, would be the price region I'll be interested in. But now we've done a proper liquidity wipe off the buy side liquidity. So can we drop now into this region down here? That's what I'll be very curious about. So again, a lot of things look like they should be selling off. It's looking very nice. Okay, it's looking very, very nice. So we haven't on the, at least on the H4, we haven't got no internal breaks right now. That's why I'll be curious to see if we can actually get tomorrow, even on H1, no internal breaks. So this will be the region. Okay, this will be the internal region that I'd love to see a break to give me more confidence of price actually dropping. So if we get this breakthrough here, I'll be more and more confident actually selling down towards our H4 point of interest. So right now we're just waiting for this. So yeah, that's the deciding factor. Okay, that's the deciding factor for sure. If we can actually get that price action to actually drop down into this region, and then yeah, that'll be a nice sell for sure. I mean, if you trade US 30, you already know just even this move here alone is enough to feed generations. So imagine getting that kind of move. I mean, it doesn't have to be a whole swing trade, but if you could catch it all the way down, up, down, up, down, up, down until you finally reach this region, I mean, you can see the pip count there for yourself. So it is looking good, bruv. It is looking good. Okay, so Nas, again, last week we already knew we had the buy side liquidity sweep, but then we didn't quite get what I thought would happen, where we kind of come down towards here and then give us a buy. It just literally just went down, and then now it went all the way back up without even touching us in this H1 POI. But the thought was good behind it. Okay, it just didn't play out exactly how I would have liked it to play. It didn't give us no entry for this to happen to sell it down into H1, and it didn't even touch our H1 to give us the buy to actually let it happen, but it happened. Okay, so we know we're on track with exactly what we expected for the buy side to be taken out. And then from there, we had 5 minute. Well, I had a 5 minute that I was looking at potentially selling last week. Didn't tap me in again. So yeah, right now, Naz is just playing a game with me where it's not trying to tap me into my pinpoint accuracy entry zone. So yeah, we'll see exactly how this one plays out this week. But again, similar with US30, we wanted price to do its thing. And then from there, we wanted it to kind of start dropping towards these areas. So H1 is still in play. Can we use this as our liquidity point? And then obviously way down here. But right now, let's just actually focus on what might be happening here. Because as you can already see, we've got build-ups already happening. So we can still even potentially go higher. Okay, based off the breakout, we can still potentially go higher and then drop. So we still got that. And if we're doing the inverse with US30. US30 has already done its buy side liquidity, so it shouldn't really need to go higher. Whereas with NAS, there's still scope for price to go higher one more time and then drop. Okay, so yeah, that's basically what we're seeing for that. Again, very, very similar to what we're looking at for last week. With pricing just actually come down into this area and then potentially breaking these lows all through here. So all of this is looking like a nice target. Okay, when we're looking at that, looking like a very nice target, just clean lows just to take out really. So again, not much more to say about that. GBP USD last week was looking at price coming down to here and then potentially going up for buy side liquidities. So this week we've already created a new one. Okay, price coming up. Okay, I see this week. Last week finished off with price coming up, and then today price action has started to go down already, which has given us an internal break. So now I'm very curious to see how this looks like in London tomorrow. Okay, because we've come up, done our thing just by a little bit. I mean, it wasn't the most convincing liquidity wipe based on even the H1, but now we're actually breaking lower than internal breaks. So now I'm curious to see exactly how this plays out in London tomorrow because now we've got our internals just totally clean out. And then this was the H1 POI that was actually initially interested in. So now I'm just curious to see exactly how much this look like in the morning. So this is going to be very interesting. But right now it's looking like a nice sell, at least to this H1 POI. And let's just say in London we somehow pull out price staying in this region. Okay, we're looking at that 230 pips to drop down into here over the course of this week or however long it takes. As we know, Forex pairs move very, very slowly compared to gold. So who knows how long that might take if it presents itself to give us that sell trade. Euro USD. Okay, we go back to the 4 hour again from last week when we had that news. We expected price to actually come down into here before heading up, but price is just taking its time to balance itself out. Again, we're seeing a build up of trend through there, so we already know what's going to happen. Okay, we already know what's going to happen, and then just how it happens, and then obviously buy side liquidity is the target, but it depends what do we get first. Do we get buy side liquidity before dropping into here, or do we get a drop into here to get buy side liquidity? These are the things that we wait for market structure and the week to play out. But right now, for me, what makes more sense is price coming down and then buy side. But dollar, yeah, dollar's a very interesting one. But let's just keep on Euro USD for now. But yeah, again, we play with structure. Right now, structure is pointing towards the upside, but already know what could potentially happen with the liquidity grab happening and then price making this real move. So again, not the cleanest, which is why I haven't really marked it. I just want to keep my eye on, but I do prefer GBP USD. This looks way cleaner for the sell. Whereas EU is just we already know the trend line is going to get taken out, but what does it do before that or after that? We're just waiting to see. But GBP USD has made a decisive move, so just waiting on that. Okay, AD USD from last week or even from 2 weeks ago. When was this? Okay, 1st of August. So let's say 3 weeks ago, technically. Okay, got that buy and it just yeah, the slowest trade in the world. Okay, but I'm risk free on this right now and just holding. So yeah, it is what it is. Nothing more to say about that. It's one of the slowest pairs in the world, man. But I'm never going to look at that. Let's just skip it. Okay, GJ was looking at this a couple of weeks ago about price coming into here and then shifting up, didn't give us that trade, and then this went up for buy side liquidity. Ever since then, it's just been hanging around in this area. Okay, literally it just reminded of that meme. What you doing? Just hanging around. That's basically what GJ is doing. It's just hanging around. So again, similar situations for most pairs I'm looking at right now. I'm just like, cool, we've got a buy side liquidity taken, we've got it taken once, dropped, got it taken again. Can we now drop? again down into these regions. So that's what I'm looking at. Nothing's really presenting itself right now as a clean trade. Okay, we had a 5 minute that I was looking at here, dropped, and then prices back up again. So yeah, we're just gonna have to wait to see exactly how this plays out. But again, similar to GU, can we get some kind of indication of price wanting to clean out all of this area? Okay, I mean, we get a nice build up there. Okay, get a nice build up there. So can we just see price? I mean, I won't be surprised if I see price go up one more time and then give us that trade, hopefully, and then we finally get a drop into this area again. When we're looking at this, if we let's just say we get a build up and entry somewhere around here, I mean, you're looking at 500, 600 pips, not bad at all. So I do like that. I do like that. So let's just see exactly how this plays out. If we get that, and then we've got all of this just to clean out. Okay, so let's just focus on this trend right here first, and then we see what's good. So that's GJ. UJ, last week we wanted the price to come down into here. Didn't quite get it. Last week was just yeah, they didn't want to see me win. They didn't want to see me win. So a lot of things was presenting themselves, got close, and then just went. So again, I already understand why this has happened because again, we're fielding this FVG through here. So that's all it really needs. But yeah, I just wanted this trade right here, which made a lot more sense to me. And then obviously you still got this H1 POY that's just still here. So again, not the cleanest of trades, but we did do this liquidity work, which is again, like I said, I understand why price did what it did. Okay, just didn't want to see me win. They didn't want to see me get into the trades and make some money to feed my family. But yeah, no, I'm playing. But yeah, a lot of these things, they're lining up exactly how we thought they would, just not giving us the entries that we wanted. So it's just a matter of just waiting. If you don't see the right trade, you don't need to force the trade. Like that's literally it. If you miss it, you miss it. Okay, the right trade will present itself, and this is why with these various pairs we can actually look into. So if one is not playing out, we can actually watch the other. And again, like I said, gold is literally up and down right now. So we're catching all these trades in the gold trading community. So if you're not in that channel, you're missing out. But definitely join the trading community of gold. And we're literally finding all these trades in here. Literally, we just trade gold. So all these little moves that's happening here as gold has been doing nonsense, you literally get to find all these trades, 30, 50, 100 pips trades. We're literally catching them all the time, just in between whatever nonsense is happening over here. So USD JPY. Again, it's gonna have to hold off on that and we'll see what's good. Oil again since last week as well. Like I said, we've been playing around in here. We made our big initial move. So I remember when we looked at this a couple of weeks ago, made our big initial move, was headed towards the H1, didn't quite reach it, and then price dropped. So I was saying under here, again, watch last week's video, like I said, under our targets or liquidity points, there's always something lurking. So again, liquidity point, there's always something lurking that will bounce into and then head up. Okay, so again, this is this where we're seeing we've already taken out this, but haven't dropped into this to then head up to potentially complete our move. Okay, so this is how we're trapping price. Okay, we're just seeing how do we get down here to actually head up into here. So, like I always say, nothing happens by accident on these charts. So with this internal liquidity being created, okay, with this internal liquidity here being created, it was not accident. Price is leaving that because they know what's coming first and then what's coming next. So again, already got this internal liquidity. Again, if you don't know what internal liquidity is, it's just basically this. So we're basically in this situation. Okay, where price, let's just say this one. We create this high, it dropped even lower. We're looking to price drop into here. Okay, based off this situation, we're looking for price to drop into here and then head up, taking out internal highs. And then who knows, potentially we're breaking these highs through here. So we're basically in that situation right here. Okay, where we create this high, dropped even lower. We want to buy from here, and then we start climbing up, taking out that internal high, and then we push even higher potentially. So we're seeing that. Okay, and then obviously this will be our buy side liquidity through here. Okay, if we were to get that move happening. So we're seeing the signs of it happening. How it happens, we don't know. If it happens, we don't know. We're just literally following structure. Okay, and all we can do is prepare ourselves for it if it does happen. Okay, so that's basically oil. Okay, and last thing we'll look at, okay, which nothing's really changed either, is our DXY, the dollar. Okay, so again from last week, enough exactly identical. Like I said, we would potentially bounce from these areas and then just go up. But yeah, price is literally just chilling. Okay, we're just literally chilling in this range, which is why we're not seeing much movement with GU, not seeing much movement in EU, not seeing much movement in AU, especially AU. AU is moving hella slow. So we're seeing all these kind of things just literally aligning because the dollar is simply not moving. Can we get one more move for the dollar to the downside? I think so. And then actually what's that going to do? It's going to help GU, EU, all these kind of pairs push up. So it'll be a curious one just to see. Okay, but again, keeping it short and sweet. Not much has changed since last week, like I said. So we're literally in the same position. But until next time, guys, hope you have a good trading week. Hope your accounts keep growing and you keep multiplying. So until next time, peace out, man.